wonder if like Sandy and Chet, but that was it. That was it.
The budget meeting?
And
I don't know.
I don't understand why they would come to the commission meeting.
I think they know, there's agendas out there on the table.
Right? This budget meeting of the town of Gulfstream being called to order. Would you call the roll, please, Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Here.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yeah.
Commissioner Orthwine?
Yes,
Mayor Morgan?
Here.
Let the record show that the town manager Thrasher, town attorney Randolph, and the acting police chief Allen are also here.
Being presented tonight is the proposed budget with proposed millage rate for the fiscal year 2016-17. Mr. Thrasher, would you please explain the proposed budget?
Mr. Mayor, prior to you both doing that, I would like to announce that for convenience sake, rather than having the closed door session in the commission chambers, we've set up a table in the hallway off the town manager's office so that the closed door session will be held there as opposed to here. So the public can remain in this room when we adjourn to the closed door session.
Okay, any objection?
no,
No, good. Okay, Mr. Thrasher.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the tentative budget. There will be some additional tweaking to the numbers that you have here, but not materially. The millage rate that is being proposed will remain unchanged. At the draft budget, we had a proposed millage rate of 4.59. In this document, we are suggesting, I am suggesting, recommending that the millage rate be dropped to 4.49. So it'll be under 4.5. So this budget has been prepared using the millage rate of 4.49. That represents a 5.8% below the calculated rollback rate, which is 4.7684. The village rate is 4.49. It is 5.84% below the calculated rollback rate, which is 4.7684. The budget is balanced with revenues and expenditures equaling $6,371,242. The 2016 and 17 taxable value for operating purposes is $1,020,616,589. We have increases in payroll, recommended increases of 2.5. That doesn't necessarily mean that all employees will get an increase, but it is budgeted to make it available. We have capital expenditures in this budget of $990,000, $500,000, and we are transferring or utilizing a fund balance for the undergrounding project for an estimate as of this date, as of 8/15, actually as of this date, $671,000. With that, I would try to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions from the commissioners?
no, this is a question, just how, are we okay with the police department? Do we need to add another policeman, or how's all of that going to work as we go forward?
Well, presently, we are, in essence, back down below the recommended 12 officer level because of the absence of Chief Ward. We are, as I understand it, looking for a replacement, reviewing the market, not replacement necessarily of Chief Ward, but to make sure that we have the full complement of officers, 12 that is budgeted for. So presently, we are at 11. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's why I was asking, do we budget for?
Well, we budgeted for 12.
Okay.
That will be our goal as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Bill, can you just briefly summarize for the capital, what we're allocated this year for roads and streets? I think you mentioned it last meeting briefly.
Well, actually, this document that you have has a roads and street and road paving and striping of $200,000.
Right.
That's, in the final budget, you will find that that number has changed. Already have changed it, and we increased it from 200,000 to, I increased it from 200,000 to 220 because we had capital in this present document of Barrier Island Fire District study of 20,000. That's now in the past, and so I am recommending that that 20,000 be put down into paving. So that's the biggest part of it, except for the street lights. We are budgeting 55 fixtures, approximately $9,600, as well as some street name signs. So we have $490,000 budgeted for lighting, and those two items together represent almost $710,000 of the 990. I am hoping to continue work on the town hall expansion as far as the design phase. That's $60,000. I am looking at installing some video security cameras. That's yet to be determined and yet to be studied fully as to what it might mean in regards to public records and things of this nature. But it's in the budget to at least consider, analyze it, and go forward with it. I don't know if that's enough explanation.
Yeah,
Vice Mayor?
they just, we're at 200 and it's still, and then you rolled the 20 from the fire, or from the
Yes.
study in there,
Yes.
which is probably wise, because
Yeah.
who knows what we'll get into depending on what we start this year with.
Other comments? Or questions? Comments or questions from the public?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chris O'Hare. I'm looking at the contract agreements for municipal functions and services, and I just had a question under code enforcement. It says May of 2009 open. Shouldn't Mr. Brandenburg's name be there with a more recent date for an agreement? Or is he no longer the code special master?
Mr. Brandenburg is. This document usually is updated by an employee who is no longer with us, and I will work on that and make appropriate changes for the final budget.
Okay, so Mr. Richmond Greer and Mr. Sweetapple, they're not on here either, but they still have agreements, I guess? Or no?
That is my understanding, yes. I will add those three.
Under capital maintenance, the Barrier Island Fire District study, there's $20,000 indicated as an estimated cost. Are we still paying for that, or is that money we are owed, that we owe
No,
to other people?
I actually addressed that just a little while ago. You perhaps didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm here.
That $20,000 is being shifted out of there down into paving. We're bumping paving up from 200,000 to 220,000. And
Okay,
the Barrier Island feasibility study will be zero.
and on that same page, $9,600 per street light, those are all for the east side, nothing's going in Plaza Solaire.
That is correct.
Okay, and the smart meters, there's zero, does that mean no smart meters?
That's also has been changed.
Okay,
I'm still tweaking these numbers, but smart meters are not part of this budget.
okay. Water fund, is that part of the budget?
Pardon me?
The water fund, page?
It is, but it's a separate fund. The water fund is a separate fund. It's handled separately. That's why you see capital isolated at the bottom of that capital page. To
Last year, the management fees of $90,000, I think I remember that was for Mr. Thrasher to oversee the fund in addition to his other pay, but that's not actually gonna be paid, that's just sort of like a $90,000 allowance for management? Or is it actually gonna go to the manager of the water fund?
to me, you mean?
Well, who's it go, who's getting that money?
It's a good topic for discussion, but it's
Not
not planned to be.
additional
It's simply a transfer. And it's a legitimate transfer.
Okay.
Most utilities have such a thing.
Same for the $75,000 for salary and benefits, that's just transfer to somebody else.
Okay, please help me, where are you in that
I'm
regard?
sorry, under expenses, 47,550
So
for salary.
we're in the water fund
In
budget?
the water fund?
Yeah, I'm still on the water fund.
Okay, well, typically, we just at this point deal with the general fund, but since you're there, the $75,000, I still can't find it, help me out,
I'm sorry, it's on page 6,
page 6.
at the top, underneath expenses. And I know you're going to vote
Oh,
on
you're
this.
saying salary and benefits added together?
Right, that's 75.
Okay.
Is that for Mr.
70.
Dietrich and Mr. Songer?
No, that's strictly for Mr. Songer.
Oh, just Mr. Songer,
Mr.
okay.
Dietrich is in the general fund under roads and streets.
Okay, while we're on employees, I see 76,000 from this Ronan Bissell, who seems like a very nice, intelligent person, probably worth the money. My question is, why not hire more people, since Kelly Avery spent all of her time last year on public records? Maybe we should hire another person in addition to Miss Bissell. Just a suggestion.
Okay.
Huge.
I'd like to have, I would like to hire more people, but we just really have no space.
Okay. Oh, so we're gonna get a bigger town hall, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, in the future, that may happen. I don't make that decision.
okay, covered that. I'm almost done. The legal fees on page 2. It was $1 million last year, now it's 650, I think that's 650,000.
Correct.
And is that for legal fees only, or can take into consideration possible judgments? Or just
That
for
includes
attorneys?
all of that, and that's, it includes legal fees and possible judgment, and that's why we have the concept of a contingency in case we run over that. Contingency is $437,651 on page 3, so in the event that 650 isn't sufficient, we do have some backup.
And then my last question has to do with the same topic. Under contracts and agreements, there's a contract with the Florida League of Cities for liability insurance for $89,000. And I just wondered, does that policy just for representation, or would they also be covering any judgments in that policy, or is the town on the hook for judgments?
Well, the League of Cities insurance doesn't cover public records,
Oh, I understand.
and so it would cover any costs associated with an applicable legal action.
Right, and I'm just asking if the policy as a budget item is protecting the town, not just from representation, since they pay Chris Stearns and Jeff Hopeman, et cetera, but are they also protecting the town from judgment? Will they cover the cost of judgments? If you happen to
If
be
it's so
found?
applicable, yes.
So they will?
If it's applicable to their coverage, yes, not public records though.
Right, okay. So a judgment, that's something they represent you in, they will pick up
Yeah, if
the
there,
entire
if
tab.
there is a liability that's a loss or a damages claim, then that's what the insurance would be for.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyone else from the public wish to comment on the budget? Another opportunity for the commissioners to comment or question? If not, is there a motion to adopt the general fund tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2016, 2017 at 4.49?
I so moved to approve the millage rate of 4.4900 for the year 2016 to 2017,
Which is,
which is below the rollback rate of 4.7684.
Second?
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes,
Commissioner Orthwyne?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. We've also considered the general fund tentative budget. Is there a motion to adopt the tentative budget for fiscal year 2016-17 for the general fund?
also move to adopt the budget for 2016 to 2017 and the general fund.
State the amount.
Could you state the amount of their commission?
Operating purposes,
Excuse me.
which, the one
That's
that's
6 million.
6 million one? Okay.
One, two, four,
I got it. Oh, I should look at that, huh? It's 6,371,000, right?
Right.
242.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. We've been presented with a description of the enterprise fund, also known as the water fund. Is there a motion to adopt the tentative budget for fiscal year 2016-17 for the enterprise water fund, which is the total amount, help me here,
26.
1,172,000.
$1,172,000.
I'll move to approve the 2015-16 water fund, tentative budget of $1,172,000.
I mean, the 2016, 2017.
Oh, what did I say, 15,
15,
16?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm a
With
little
that,
behind.
with that correction, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. We had discussed previously the public hearing date for the final adoption of our millage rate and budget. We had talked about September 20, 2016 at 5:01 PM at Town Hall. Any requests to change?
No.
If not, is there a motion to approve September 20, 2016 at 5:01 PM as the public hearing date for the final adoption of the millage rate and budget?
I'll move to have the final date of the budget for September 20th at 5:01 for 2016-17.
Second.
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Let's move on to resolution 16-4. Ms. Taylor, would you kindly read that
I will.
resolution?
Resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, adopting the tentative levying of ad valorem taxes for the Town of Gulfstream General Fund for fiscal year commencing on October 1, 2016 and ending on September 30th, 2017, and providing for an effective date. I'm sorry, but I gotta read the whole thing. The Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, on September 9th, 2016, adopted 2016-2017 fiscal year tentative millage rates following a public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065. And whereas the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, held a public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065, and whereas the gross taxable value for operating purposes not exempt from taxation within Palm Beach County has been certified by the county property appraiser to the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream as $1,020,616,589. That's billion.
One day.
Billion, I'm sorry.
It's hard to talk about those things.
Yeah, they're not in my bank,
Oh, you lied.
only a little bit. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Commission, Town of Gulfstream, Florida, that Section 1, the fiscal year 2016-17 operating millage rate is 4.4900 mils, which is less than the rollback rate of 4.7684 mils by 5.84%. Section 2, this resolution will take effect immediately upon its adoption, passed and adopted at a public hearing this 9th day of September 2016.
Thank you. Resolution 16-4 has been read for approval. Is there a motion to approve resolution 16-4?
I'll move to approve resolution number 16-4.
Second.
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Resolution 16-5.
Resolution, the Town Commission, of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, adopting the general fund tentative budget for the Town of Gulfstream for the fiscal year commencing on October 1, 2016, and ending on September 30, 2017, providing for an effective date. Whereas the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, held a public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065, and whereas the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, set forth the appropriations and revenue estimate for the budget for fiscal year 2016-17 in the amount of $6,371,242. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Commission, Town of Gulfstream, Florida, that Section 1, the fiscal year 2016-17 general fund tentative budget be adopted. Section 2, this resolution is to take effect immediately upon its adoption. Passed and adopted at public hearing this 9th day of September 2016.
Thank you. Resolution number 16-5 has been read for approval. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 16-5?
I'll move to approve resolution number 16-5.
Second?
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Last one, Resolution 16-6.
A resolution, Town Commission, of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, adopting the water fund tentative budget for the Town of Gulfstream for the fiscal year commencing on October 1, 2016, and ending on September 30th, 2017, providing for an effective date. Whereas the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, held a public hearing as required by Florida Statute 200.065, and whereas the Town Commission of the Town of Gulfstream, Palm Beach County, Florida, set forth the appropriations and revenue estimate for the budget for fiscal year 2016-17 in the amount of $1,172,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Commission, Town of Gulfstream, Florida, that Section 1, the fiscal year 2016-17 water fund tentative budget be adopted. Section 2, this resolution take effect immediately upon its adoption, passed and adopted at a public hearing this 9th day of September 2016.
Thank you. Resolution number 16-6 has been read for approval. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 16-6?
I'll move to approve resolution number 16-6.
Second?
Ms. Taylor?
Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Orthwein?
Yes.
Mayor Morgan?
Yes. Any other comments by the commission?
Mhm.
If not, this budget meeting is adjourned.